Okay, let me just. Yep, we're both bouncing like maniacs. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this stupid idea that I came up with of helping a friend of mine. And he's currently writing a book.
I am.
To
have zombies in, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know why the stream is all weird at the moment. Let me just check something.
Better check it quick. I can see Oh, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Falling off the train carriage from the explosion. Oh god, they're coming. You want to get back up here? Hang on, let me try and protect you. Oh god, they're coming quick. Oh.
No, I'm up.
All right, cool. I'm coming back up here with you. There's quite a few coming. Oh shit.
For some reason, it seems to be very. She's a med kit.
These ones are running pretty fucking quick. Oh shit.
Okay, that's a bit odd. Hang on, I think I might have to just reconnect the integration, if you see what
we got to do.
Doesn't seem to like what's happening. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, these ones are a bit crazy. This fucking zombie's like climbing all over the place.
Ah, right. Okay, fine. I now know what I've done.
I'm reviving you. We all good?
Yeah, we are all good as far as I can tell on the stream. Right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's
As
start.
we were saying, yeah.
As we were saying. Oh, do you remember the kick, which is E?
Oh yeah. And Q does something which I haven't quite figured out what, like a radar thing?
Yeah, it's for things like stuff that you can loot.
The spider senses.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'll let you talk for a bit. What is the basic premise of the book? Not basically all the book, but
basic premise is the main character has to get the electricity back on because he wants to restore the AI that created him. That's it. That's the gist of it.
That's the basic premise. Okay.
And the electricity's off because of an EMP, so it's like post-apocalyptic.
It's. You told me this. Do you want to say where it's based?
Southern England and northern France, but the first few chapters are also on a spacecraft that's in orbit of the planet.
Okay, let me just check that the sound's coming through properly.
Southern England.
Yeah, right. Just making sure.
This guy just fell down the hill. I didn't even push him. He just rolled down on his own accord. And yeah, so there's things in my book called husks or hollow people is like the official name. Husks is like the slang word for them. And they are not technically zombies in the traditional sense because they're still alive. But their neural implants are completely fried. Because when the EMP went off, which caused the apocalyptic event, the large population of civilians who had neural implants in their heads do their thinking and all of that sort of stuff, those neural implants stopped working and people relied upon them so much when they were, working, they're now kind of feral. And so these husks run around streets of London hunting in packs. and their neural implants occasionally link up into basic hive minds when they go underground and away from the radiation. The EMP is still burning, I should mention. It's like an ongoing thing with the radiation from the EMP, so they're still suffering from the radiation being emitted by the EMP.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they like to hide away underground, away from the radiation, and like in a Channel Tunnel, for example, or the subway lines underneath London, all those dark underground, dark, strange places are where they like to congregate in large numbers, and their hive minds sometimes link up. So when they're above ground, when the radiation storms are burning their strongest, they're very aggressive and feral. But when they're below ground, or when the solar storms or the radiation is less... Oh, I'm getting eaten, by the way. Can you help me?
Where are you?
Death in 27 seconds. I'm near you, though. This guy...
I'm dead. Just died.
Okay, I died too. Yeah, so when the radiation storms are strong, it suppresses their neural implants and they act more animalistic, more violent, more aggressive, and more feral. And when the radiation storms are weak, or when they're underground, they can think a bit better and start acting out past memories of their former lives. Like, you can see them. There's a scene I've just been writing where the main character is going through a monorail line in London, and I should also mention it's set about 200 years in the future. And the main character is going through this monorail line in London, and a lot of these husks are all stood waiting for the train. Obviously, there's no train, there's no monorail, because it's the apocalypse. The railway line's all overgrown and crumbling away, and concrete's cracking. But they don't know that, because their memory implants, or their neuron implants, are deceiving them. Sometimes their neuron implants work a little bit, and they reenact former memories of their past lives. So a rush hour, or like every morning, a lot of them will all start their morning commute, even though there's no jobs or work available for them. They'll just gather by the train stations and stand there waiting for trains that no longer exist until they get hungry and go off and act feral again. Or they look right and left before crossing roads, even though there's no cars coming. So they're kind of like zombies, but they're kind of like echoes of the past are still hidden in there at times. You can see like aspects of their former lives. They like mutter and twitch and all that cool stuff that traditional zombies do as well, of course.
Post on Facebook their racist rantings.
Well, yeah, I'm actually writing a scene the other day where one of them's scrolling through a tablet, and obviously the tablet's actually broken because of the EMP. There's no screen on it or anything, but he doesn't. In his head, it's still working. So he's scrolling through it, and the main character looks at him and like kind of bemused as he suddenly like his eyes, like the husk's eyes light up in delight as he sees something amusing, as if he's reading like a joke or seeing a funny YouTube video. But in actual fact, the tablet's not even working. In his head, he sees stuff that's not there because from his memory implant, like switching on and off sort of thing.
Oh, cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. An interesting concept.
Yeah, there's quite a dark humour to it at times as well, which is good to break up the...
Would you call the book... I'm not sure if you... I hope you're familiar with the term black comedy?
Yeah, there's aspects of that in there, for sure. For example, the main character is known as Unit. He's actually he's a clone. They're all large unit numbers, but he's called Unit for short. And one of his companions, who's helping to get electricity back on, is a chaplain. But he's not a chaplain in the traditional sense. He's like a chaplain because they're AI. They're trying to get back online. It's called God, and their kind of religion's based around their AI. And this chaplain's kind of lost his faith in bringing God back. And he's a bit like, who's that guy, who's the robot from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Is it Marvin?
Paranoid Android, yes.
Yeah. This chaplain's like a little bit like that. He's pessimistic, and even though he's a chaplain, so he's supposed to be religiously zealous and fanatical, but he's kind of the opposite these days. Oh shit, I'm getting fucked up by a zombie.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry, I can't see you. I think I've gone off somewhere else.
I don't know where you are at the moment. Yeah, I'm good though.
Hang on.
But yeah, it's always fun to break it up with a bit of humour, isn't it?
Yeah. Uh, what would you class your book as? Sort of.
Definitely sci-fi at its heart, post-apocalyptic sci-fi to be more exact. But even though it's science fiction, because it's set after the apocalypse and particularly after an EMP has gone off, there is no electricity. And because it's set so far in the future where electricity was important for laser guns, programmable ammunition on traditional guns, vehicles, all sorts, there's no real technology working anymore. So they kind of use power armor, but then they have to strip the batteries out of the power armor to keep it working because obviously it would just be extra heavy with the batteries in. So they have to strip everything down. So the guns, for example, there's like they convert some of the old guns to like rudimentary musket style weapons in book 3 later on. But
Yeah.
the majority of the trilogy they're using bows and arrows and spears and shields, but they're made out of like graphene or carbon fiber and futuristic materials that are scavenged from the cities. And, they pick through the bones of civilization looking for scrap that they can still use essentially.
Hang on, let me just turn down the sound of him grunting.
I'm trying to get to you. I think you're over there. Oh, this one's going quite quick. So yeah, it's sci-fi, but it's heavily inspired by things like Lord of the Rings. So I started writing a traditional sci-fi book, but remembered how epic those kind of large-scale battles are. And obviously, you can't have a large-scale battle like that if one team has spears and the other team has machine guns. So I had to like level the playing field.
Well,
you could, but I mean, it'd be a bit overpowered. But one machine gun could go through like, oh, I'm getting messed up right now. One machine gun person could like do quite a lot of damage to like, a Roman legion, for example.
Very true.
So the way of avoiding that kind of overpoweredness is just to have everyone having no technology. And then you can still have those epic, like large-scale battles you get in Lord of the Rings. But in my book, they'll have like catapults and trebuchets firing burning lithium-ion batteries stripped out from vehicles. So when one of the factions lays siege to London, they end up, taking the batteries from electric vehicles, piercing them with a dagger or something, so they start burning, and then firing them out of a trebuchet. It's fun, like thinking up ways of using old technology blended in with new materials and stuff.
Sort of making. Oh, there you are. God, you're having a good time.
Oh, can't see you.
Turn around.
Oh, you're over there. Hello.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept of basically a Roman sort of idea of medieval warfare with modern tech.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what would you do if you had like? I really like that idea. It's just like so interesting to think about. It's just like, what would you do? Or it's just like, oh, this laptop, or pierce the battery and chuck it.
Yeah, it was actually you, wasn't it, who gave me the idea originally for the
lithium ion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on with it.
Yeah.
So I'm about to throw my wrench at this flammable gas canister. So you can come over here, and I think they come when you make noise, don't they?
You can sort of make a chain if you just whack them slowly.
Hang on, they're all going towards that gas canister. Oh, fucking blow up! Oh, there we go.
There you go. Run.
I want to get away from that.
There you go. Yay! I got that on stream.
Nice. I think they're going to start coming now.
Ooh, lightly grilled. Heavily grilled. Burnt.
What are you doing down there? You're going to get surrounded, surely. Oh, there we go.
I don't know what I was doing with this character, so...
Let me heal you.
Oh, thank you. No, no, don't worry, don't worry. Don't need to heal me, for God's sakes.
Some crazy lady climbing up here. So yeah, there's three main factions which are like, they are, you know, the clone soldiers, which are kind of based loosely on the Roman Empire, and they have like different legions. Like there's Black Legion that are based in London and the UK, and there's Iron Legion in northern France and Phoenix Legion in Scotland.
Okay.
And they've all got distinctive like styles and history and things. And then you've got barbarian tribes, and there's three barbarian tribes, and they want to keep the electricity from working. They're actually keeping the EMP going, and because
Right.
they like things primitive and natural and in harmony of nature. They're a bit like eco-terrorists sort of thing to some extent.
Sort of, I know this might get you cancelled. Greta Thunbergs.
Yeah, kind of. Could say that. They're like living off the land. They hate technology, and more importantly, when before the apocalypse, when civilization was still running, they were adamant about not having neural implants. They wanted everyone to live without neural implants and live organically. Whereas
Yeah.
God, the AI that the main character is trying to bring back online, made a law that it was mandatory for everyone to have neural implants. So that's the friction. You know, the barbarians aren't like the husks because they didn't have neural implants in the first
Ooh.
place. Well, hello. Whereas the clone soldiers, I should also mention, they do have neural implants, but they have like military hardware ones. So I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of a Faraday cage.
Yes, very familiar. I'm a spy guy, remember?
Yeah, so basically a bit of copper or some kind of material that can insulate against the radiation or the electromagnetic radiation is what's needed. So, like the main character has a neural implant, his one works just about because it's a military grade one and has insulation in. Whereas civilians, like the husks, don't have neural implants, and that's what sends them crazy because of the radiation. Yeah, sorry, they don't have military grade neural implants. They just got basic ones.
Yeah.
And the barbarians don't have neural implants at all.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So, what? Why did you start writing this?
that's a good question. I used to keep a dream diary, so I started writing 8 to 10 years ago, and I started writing down my dreams. So I wanted to lucid dream, and one way to get good at lucid dreaming is to write down your dreams, which means once you write them down, I'm coming down to help you by the way. When you write down your dreams, you're more likely to recognize a dream when you're dreaming. That you're more likely
Okay.
to wake up within your dream. So it all started out with me writing down my dreams, and then I started to elaborate on them. And some of those first little stories I wrote down in my dream journal are still chapters in the book today. For example, the first dream I wrote down in that little diary I had was the main character was in the subways underneath London, in these abandoned subways. And in my dream, when it happened, I was hiding on top of a train carriage, hiding from people who were searching for me with torches, like below in these abandoned tunnels below London. And that's kind of still in the book today, but obviously a lot else has changed and modified since then.
Okay, I've got a question from the chat. You can answer it if you want. Is
Yeah, sure.
autism a neural implant?
Autism's an organic thing, whereas a neural implant is obviously synthetic. I don't know how to answer that if I'm honest. Like, I don't know if this is going to get me banned or whatever, but it can be a bit of a superpower, can't it, at times? Obviously, it can be a hindrance, but it depends on the type, right?
Yeah, probably. I am mildly autistic. I would class you as slightly. Please don't take offense to that, but you
I
do
don't get offended.
have some of the traits
Superpower.
of that.
I think
Personally,
I've got. I think I've just got a sponge-like memory. In all honesty, like be honest, I've always seem to retain information pretty well. That's quite a funny comment, in fairness.
Yeah.
Hello.
The person who is currently speaking, because somebody who's watching this doesn't quite realize what's going on, he's a friend of mine who's currently writing a book, and I thought, I might as well do a sort of playing along and sort of chatting about his book that he's coming out whenever he's finished with it. If you're interested in what he's doing, there's links in the description for his Twitter, Facebook, I think, and his what's it called?
TikTok, Instagram. I don't know.
No, I didn't put your Instagram on.
Oh yeah. My HubSpot, so my email list. So if you want to join my email subscriptions, my subscriber list, then you can get updates and all that sort of stuff.
So I've seen that you've been playing Fallout 4 recently.
Yeah. My excuse is that it gives me a lot of inspiration from the book, and it kind of does, to be honest. But like, I treat the book these days like a full-time job to a certain extent. So I kind of feel guilty playing computer games sometimes. But sometimes, like Fallout 4, for example, I don't feel guilty playing that because, first of all, it's great fun, and second of all, it does give me ideas for the book, like the weird mannequins you see all over the place.
Yes.
I think that's pretty funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the Institute, and yeah,
it's just a great universe. I've also got loads of mods running, so it's fucking hardcore. Like, we're playing this game on nightmare difficulty at the moment, like Dying Light, but that's how I like my games. Like Fallout 4, I've got the mods where you need to drink your water and eat food, and it's extra pitch black everywhere, so you've got flashlights and things.
Yeah, my fan base might want me to do that.
It's quite painful because you've got to save game in a bed.
I've done that. Yeah, the save gaming in the bed is a big issue.
Yeah, realistic damage as well. So one bullet to the head and you're dead. Doesn't help things. But obviously one bullet to an enemy's head and they're dead too. So.
Oh, another comment from Take It Feline. She's a bit of a furry. Sorry if that insulted you, Take It. Are there any monster hotties in the book series?
There's I don't know about hotties. There's definitely like genetic engineering. There's these things called mizitsu, which are kind of like hyena, genetically engineered hyena slash. Don't know how to describe them really. Mainly hyena, but I'm still like experimenting with what other genetics are in there. Maybe bat. Maybe there's some echolocation in there as well. And they kind of roam around in packs.
Are you talking kind of like a chimera?
Yeah. They were used before the apocalypse began in war and stuff, kind of like to hunt down stuff, and they would have like neural implants inside them, so they remained obedient to their handlers. Obviously, now that the radiation's everywhere, the neural implants don't work, so they kind of just feral.
Hyena! Now we're talking.
Yeah, something about hyena, isn't it?
That was that's Tekke's comment, by the way. That's not mine.
Yeah, I realised. So there's like you get these things called mizitsu. There's the hyena, and you also get woolly mammoth, which were used before the apocalypse began to help with. First is a tourist attraction in the book before like the apocalypse, obviously, and also woolly mammoth. Were also used in the book, and also maybe in real life at some point for climate control, because they stamp on all the plants and eat all the plants, and the plants absorb the sun's energy. So the more woolly mammoth you have, in theory, the cooler the planet is. And I read a real life scientific paper suggesting that if you brought woolly mammoth back and other megafauna from the Neolithic times, like the bison and all that sort of stuff, then the planet would get cooler because there'd be more ice and less plants. They'll be eating all the plants, and the more ice there is, the ice reflects the energy back to the sun. So that's a bit deep and scientific, but there is a plausible. I just basically wanted to get woolly mammoth in the book because I'm always like Hannibal, with his elephants in Roman times and that.
Oh yeah, he is my friend here is a rather bit of a historical battle kind of nerd.
Yeah.
He
So,
plays
what, Total War?
Total War and
Yeah.
does better than me, even though I'm Grand Admiral Thrawn. But in space combat, I don't think you do better than me.
Space combat probably not. I don't think I cope well in 0G.
How do you feel about Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah, that game quality. I haven't played it for a long time. I have completed it. It's got some weird, like, cryogenically frozen boss man, right? Who's running the whole show, right?
Yeah, I haven't played it that much.
It's got a twist at the end, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was currently doing a stream. Don't spoil the twist, for God's sakes.
Oh no, I won't. They all die. Oh, sorry.
Well, that's obvious. But yeah, it's
by the way.
It is quite interesting how.
I thought they got like. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
got, like,
no, go on. What were you going to say?
They've got like Roman-inspired armor and stuff, haven't they, in that game, right?
Yes, I was going to say.
Yeah, I do like that aspect of it.
Oh, I will be playing New Vegas tomorrow. So, I'm just doing this for a friend who is just like, right, might as well do something.
Oh, you come over to me. I found another thing I can blow up.
No, I'm just going to buy stuff.
Oh, fuck, I'm getting beaten up. Go away. Oh, I could have... Oh, dear. Alright, I'm going to try and get into the safe house, because I just started some shit that I can't finish.
Yeah, I'll just do.
Right, I see you. Can we sell this guy stuff?
I think you can take. Well, you can take stuff, but
You only had a pipe for me. Have you taken everything?
no, I haven't. I think we both get rusty adjustable wrench. That's all I've got.
I need some med kits and stuff. I'm trying to think of other creatures that are in the book. So obviously you got the husks, which are like the feral zombie kind of things, which don't have their neural implants working anymore, so they act all aggressive and violent. And you've got the Mizitsu, which are like the hyena. And you've got woolly mammoths.
Okay. How do you get into the inventory? I've forgotten.
Oh, mine's shift, but it depends what you've got the key bindings do.
I've got Molotovs.
Oh yeah, give me some Molotovs, give me some med kits or something.
How do I? There you go.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Ah.
There is a store in here somewhere. I've got loads of cigarettes.
Okay, right. I've got a question for somebody. No More Law. What's the hook? What's your elevator pitch?
So, obviously, Lord of the Rings, it was get the ring to the volcano. My one would be get the electricity back online. That's it, simple as that. End the apocalypse by getting the electricity back online. And if I was to elaborate on that, the reason he wants to get the electricity back online, the reason the protagonist's motivation behind ending the apocalypse and bringing the electricity back, is because his creator is an artificial super intelligence or an AI for sure, obviously. And the AI that created him is offline due to the EMP and the apocalypse going on. So by bringing the electricity back on, he can restore his creator.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Simple as that. Obviously, there's people that want to keep the electricity offline, so there's conflict there and friction. Everyone's got their own motives. Don't know who to trust. Simple as that, though. Yeah, just and he can get the electricity back online. His old goal is the way he does that is there's the radiation which is causing the EMP and stopping the electricity from working is all coming from a specific location in United Kingdom, where the book's based primarily, and he needs to get there and find a way to end it, basically. And obviously that place where the radiation is coming from, like the epicenter of the radiation, is heavily defended by the barbarians, who wish to keep the electricity offline because they don't want things going too technologically advanced and getting too sophisticated. They like things natural and organic.
I've got another call.
Yeah, hopefully that's an elevator pitch. A bit long, but yeah.
Yeah, it was the elevator pitch for the Eiffel Tower, so yeah. What's his personality? What's the personality of the
protagonist, the main character?
The protagonist, yes.
So he starts off very robotic almost. He's a clone, so he's got many brothers and sisters who help him with his jobs and his goal. It's their goal too. And he starts off quite robotic, and as time goes on, robotic by like God, who is the AI. God is the AI that created him. Has set 5 laws in place, which are like don't do drugs unless they're the ones that are prescribed for you. Don't procreate with civilian women or men if you're a clone female or a clone man. And so there's certain laws that he needs to abide by. And with God offline, some of his children, some of the clones that God created, break the laws because they're like, I'm going to do what I want. God's not here. Other of the clones follow the laws because they're like, when God comes back online, when we complete our task, he will punish those that went astray. So, and Unit starts off very law-abiding. He doesn't want to. He's very like conscious of. Doesn't want to swear. Doesn't want to commit blasphemy or break any of the laws that God put in place. And as time goes on, he eventually finds himself breaking more and more of those laws and becoming more and more corrupt. So he's quite a confident leader. He's a clone soldier. He's bred for war. He's genetically engineered. He's got titanium in a skeleton with organic flesh over the top of it. And he's quite like he's honed in for war. He doesn't really get he doesn't understand. Talking about he doesn't rain cats and dogs. He doesn't understand like certain aspects of humor and things like that sometimes. So but he's also very like driven on bringing God back online, and he's quite a good leader. But he does get corrupted as time goes on.
Okay, now somebody in my chat has made a comment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to sort of change his question. I'll ask his question to you in a minute. But
sure.
If you could cast your character in a movie, who would you Dreamcasting
Okay.
of your main character?
That's a really good question. I've thought about this before. Who's the main character from Elysium? And he's also in that film, the Le Mans film. He drives the Ford. I've forgotten his name.
No, he's also on The Martian.
Yeah, him.
Yes.
Bad I can't remember his name. Just because he's quite like
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yeah. Especially in Elysium, he hasn't really got much of a personality in some aspects. He's quite like robotic almost, and that's kind of my character is the main character is quite robotic and cold. He's got good traits, like he's a good leader and he's charismatic sometimes, but he's not like I think Matt Damon. Well, he looks like him as well in my head, but he's bald. In my book, he's got no hair, like alopecia, genetically engineered. Just wear gas mask.
Sort of the same as he is in Elysium.
Yeah. He's also got like retinal implants as well as neural implants. He's got blue eyes in the book, and the retinal implants give him night vision. They're like contact lenses essentially, but embedded into his eyes. So he's got night vision.
Okay.
Night vision, yeah, when he needs it.
Now, Almighty Leroy, I'll tell you his name. Asks, does this character have an ass?
Have an ass?
Yes.
I guess he does. He definitely poos.
No. Does he have a booty? If you see what I mean.
He doesn't, but there's a female character who's out throughout most of the. She's in the first book. She gets chapters to herself in the second and third book, and she definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would. And she's called Rhea. She's one of the other second like main character that the books follow. Her and Unit, the main character, the male main character, start off quite close friends, but as they drift apart, as the books develop, Unit ends up leading the clone soldiers and the legions of God to bring electricity back online. And Rhea, who ends up getting taken captive by the barbarians who want to keep the electricity offline, she ends up rising up through their ranks. And so in book 3, they're both got a lot more power and responsibility and soldiers under their command, so they come into more conflict. What's that? What you making of? You got another question, have you?
Yes, another question. I've got basically I've got two fans of mine, and they're slightly, how should I put this?
Long
but
pause.
cool, kind of odd.
Yeah.
If the hyenas, take it feline. If the hyenas don't have booties, I'm boycotting.
I'll give them booties then. Get it done. I've done a parkour challenge while on this game. I don't want to. Have you done a parkour challenge? Oh god, what have I pressed? The hyenas got to have booties though.
I'm about to have a meeting with the tower's leader.
Acknowledged.
You can do anything with genetic engineering, can't you?
Contact us immediately.
So what? Are you?
I don't know what I pressed, by the way. I had my radio out for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Apparently we're just doing a mission.
Okay. I need to repair my wrench. You got any guns, by the way? I could do something like which fires bullets. I've just got.
Can I clarify something? Guns in this game don't work.
Why? Because they make loads of noise.
They're not as good as you might think they are.
Okay. Well. Okay.
I doubt.
It's got to be better than a wrench.
Have you found the crafting section yet?
I don't know. I could do a samurai sword though. I don't think I have actually.
Right, go to your inventory and click blueprints.
I have actually. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and just work on that.
There's also so other aspects of genetic engineering in the book. So you've got the barbarians, you've got the clone soldiers, and you've got the husks, which are like the feral civilians, like zombies. You've also got like a sub-faction called the Bone Mercenaries, or their official name is Makira. But most people just call them Bone Mercenaries, and they've got like photovoltaic skin, so their skin's like shiny and opaque. And they get energy from sunlight. They eat food and stuff as well. But yeah, obviously there's only the first generation of them have the photovoltaic skin with the technology. When they have kids and reproduce, obviously they're just more like normal humans, but they've still got like red eyes and stuff like that. Like from their genetic engineering and stuff that went into their parents.
Skill point required. Agility, okay.
Did you just jump from that?
Yeah.
I was going to die if I did that. I haven't tried.
Hang on. Let me see.
I've done it. Too late.
Oh. Are you dead?
No, I'm good.
What, you're above me?
Yeah, I'm on the roof.
Oh, I didn't get to the roof. Oh. But, yeah. Very interesting. So, another question. These guys are the nice kind of strange. Is Chris Chan in the book? Whoever Chris Chan is.
I'm glad you don't know who that is. It's one of those
I
people.
sort
I'm
of
like, I
know
don't know. And everyone's like,
slightly.
oh, you don't know Chris Chan, you know?
I
What's
sort
he
of know
from?
slightly,
What's he
but
from? Elaborate.
he's a complete and utter whack job who basically has a thing for Sonic, if I'm not
Sonic.
mistaken. Yes.
Hedgehog.
Yes.
I see where this is going.
Other than that, I don't know diddly.
Maybe I could put Chan, the surname. I put a
What the
reference to him.
hell? Dude, why
What?
is there someone over there?
Oh yeah, with a baseball bat. Let's go say hi. Oh, I just
Was this an open game or something?
no. That's just got to be an NPC. I swear. No, that's an NPC.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm really
Ow.
injured again. I need some medical kit.
Lead pipe.
Oh, and one thing I should also mention that's kind of important for the book. It's not so much important for the other books. It only happens in book one. Every time the main character goes to sleep, he gets like dreams of the past. So, because if he's got a neural implant in his head, which is like got memories in, when he goes to sleep, his neural implant leaks these memories into his dreams, and he experiences memories from the war that led to the apocalypse. Because there was a big war.
An interesting way of, how should I put this, doing the backstory.
Kind of, yeah. But like he'll go to a place and he'll dream about a place, for example, and he might dream about a certain aspect of London. You'll see the spacecraft like defending London during the war and stuff up in the sky. And then when he wakes up, the spacecraft's rusting away. Like it's not in the sky anymore. It's like part of the landscape, and it's all being overgrown and stuff. So it's like they're like flashbacks, obviously, but these memories that he gets in his head don't always belong to him. So the AI that created him and all of his brothers, the idea is that when a soldier dies, when a clone soldier dies, their memories from their neural implant get uploaded back to the AI and then get downloaded back into the heads of the new clones that get off on the production line, so to speak. So every time a clone is born, they might be like physically like strong and like mature, but mentally they would be a baby if they hadn't got this experience in their head. They're born like fully grown straight out of the womb, the artificial womb.
Right.
And so in order to make sure they're like mature and they've got combat experience from birth, they're born with all the memories of every past clone that's ever died before them kind of uploaded into their head. They've got innate fighting experience before they even are born, basically, from their neural implants. It's all digitalized.
Okay, interesting. Very
So,
interesting.
normally speaking, these memories wouldn't really interfere too much with their waking life because it's just like innate instinct. You know, they can like build a gun blindfolded and stuff, and they know tactics and strategy without having to think about it. But now that the radiation's everywhere and their neural implants are a little bit corrupted, he sometimes gets memory leaks from other soldiers that died in the war leaking into his dreams when he's asleep. And as do all his other clones that are around in the apocalypse. Like, a good example is one of the clone soldiers goes to sleep and he has a dream that he's a clone laying a minefield. And when they wake up the next day, they've got to cross that minefield that the clone in the past laid. So he has to try and remember where the mines were put in the minefield because it was one of his deceased ancestors that laid those mines, if that makes sense.
Sort of a shared memory?
Yeah, a shared memory. Like, oh, yeah, exactly that. Yeah, basically, every time a soldier dies, some scavenger will go out onto the battlefield, get their memory implant out of the head, and upload it to the AI so it can be downloaded into the head of the new batch.
Right. Take it feline. If they inherit the memories of previous clones, would that carry over things like PTSD or mental trauma?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It definitely does. there's a good quote in the book that I like, where Unit, the main character, says that if soldiers, he says if infantry can be mass produced, then it stands to reason that nightmares can be too.
Interesting.
And I quite like that because it kind of helps explain that. Yeah, definitely they do have PTSD and trauma from the war. Bear in mind, Unit was the main character. He was born after the war had ended, but during the apocalypse. So he was born during the apocalypse, but he's still got memories of the war, even though he wasn't around during the war. Well, he wasn't, because he was born afterwards. But he was designed for the war, but born after it. And yeah, he's definitely got PTSD and things like that. But that's definitely a concept I need to explore more. I think it's a really good point. I have been looking at like videos of people with PTSD and trauma, and I've also worked in the MOD with soldiers and things in real life, so I have a layman's knowledge of it at least. But yeah, it's a really good point. Maybe it's something I'll develop further. I think I like that.
Right, the almighty Leroy. Do they all remember each other's awkward social moments?
What, in their neural implants?
Yes.
They're not. I guess like they would do, sure, but then because they're kind of soldiers, they're not particularly, and they're clone soldiers as well. They're quite robotic, so I'm sure awkward social moments would happen, but they're probably less prone to happen than in like a traditional human. I would have thought, right?
Probably.
They're not really socially aware, are they? They're clone soldiers and they're quite robotic and things. They're not really, unlike a human, who might get embarrassed at something. Like if someone sees them taking a piss in public, for example, I don't think a clone soldier would even register that something to be embarrassed about. So their idea of awkwardness and is probably different to a normal human. But yeah,
Or,
they would.
well,
Yeah.
I know it's your book, but I just want to add something here.
Uh-huh.
Is there sort of a military kind of awkwardness, kind of like, oh, your clip just fell out your gun?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good point. That would be a thing. If if he's suddenly forgotten like the best formation for an urban firefight or something, or like even like he's trying to load a shotgun by putting shells in the wrong way around or something.
Yeah, it's just like, and
That
then,
would definitely.
or now this is something I do. Please don't take it as read, but the time that you were just like, oh, this is a grenade, but then it's a flash grenade instead of a incendiary sort kind of thing. It's just like everyone's.
That in throwing a flash, thinking it's a flash when it's actually a grenade, right? And then running in straight after to get shrapnel in your face.
Yes. Now that would be more funny because you're a clone. If you think about it.
Because military humor. Oh, I'm getting eaten. I didn't know they could do that. But I'm good. Maybe we should stick together more.
Well, okay.
Isn't going to get nighttime in this game soon as well? And isn't that when we've got to be careful?
I don't know. I've forgotten. I haven't played this in donkey's years.
Well, my weapon's damaged and my health's low. And there's zombies everywhere. I'm going to play it safe.
Alright.
Other aspects I've been thinking about the book as well is like the armor. So obviously they've got sophisticated armor because it's set in the future, but they've had to strip out the battery packs from it because the electricity doesn't work anymore. It's just at dead weight.
Yeah.
But by stripping out the battery packs, obviously they're going to make it heavier. So then they have to remove some of the weight of the actual armor itself because they've got to carry it on their body themselves.
Yeah.
So hopefully that balances it out. So I was thinking, because they're all using longbows and swords and shields and axes and hammers, if they've got really futuristic armor on, it's probably quite hard to penetrate. It's probably quite hard to penetrate traditional plate armor in the medieval times, let alone something made from carbon fiber or titanium, right? Modern materials made into and then again the weapons might be stronger because you might have a bow and arrow made from like carbon fiber rather than wood or graphene.
Yeah, interesting idea. But what interests me really Oh, hang on, I've got an unspent skill point, but
Yeah.
what really interests me is that you've taken the gun out of the issue, which
Yeah.
is something that most post-apocalyptic things are very pro-gun,
Yeah.
because
No
they're
guns in
mostly
it.
American.
Yeah.
The only real post-apocalyptic one is Shaun of the Dead, which is very comedy and very British. So
There are they still have in book 3. So at the end of book 2, this isn't really a spoiler, but at the end of book 2, one of when units like risen up through the ranks a bit, one of his soldiers comes to him and be like, "Look, we're developing muskets. Basically, we're taking the old guns and stripping them back to just the barrel and the basic components, taking all the biometric like recognition off of them and the programmable ammunition and the lasers, everything that made them unworkable. We're stripping them back to just like a barrel, the basic function of a gun." And so in book 3, he does have like a few hundred muskets, which they, at the end of book 2, he's like, "Yeah, make more of these. They're great." So by book 3, the barbarians come at him in one particular battle, and he opens fire with like line infantry, like traditional, red coat musketmen almost, with fire rank reloading and ranks and like falling back and then shooting. And so I love that kind of like Napoleonic era style warfare. It doesn't feel like too overpowered against traditional cavalry and things like that when you have to take ages to reload between each shot.
yeah. So in
But
other
they do,
words,
yeah.
the Horde is against the Horde. An M16 is pretty easy, but a musket is you've got your work cut out.
Yeah, exactly. It's still balanced, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still balanced.
Still interesting. But it's nothing quite. What are you doing up on that fence?
I still can't believe that people can balance on the fence like this.
I need to go find a med kit and some stuff. Honestly, I've got like my weapon's my wrench is battered and it's about to fall apart. I need to find some metal. If you got anything you can give me to repair my wrench, I've scrapped all my other weapons to repair it, and now it's...
Hang on, where are you? Hang on.
I'm coming towards you. Yeah, I've only got 2 weapons and they're both wrenches.
Right.
Right,
Everett? Oh my god!
What's up?
I didn't know that was a thing. If you keep climbing, you can climb the height of Mount Everest, and that's a
Achievement.
And I'm getting near there.
Here's a bit of trivia for you. I heard that, like, I've probably got the math wrong, but like, I heard that Mount Everest was exactly 28,000 meters or something like that, but on the dot. But to make it sound like they actually measured it, they made it like 28,001 in all the textbooks or something like that. Because if they just said it was 28,000 meters, everyone would be like, "That's just an approximation." You know what I mean? But it actually is like spot on, like a perfect round number in real life. I heard that. Don't quote me on that. But if it comes up in a pub quiz and you get that wrong, don't blame me. But
yeah, me in a pub. Yeah, like that's going to be a.
Is it a reference to Fallout? Speaking of pubs, do you know in Fallout 1 or Fallout 3? Sorry, there's a pub called the Gold Bar.
Yeah.
I called a pub in my book the Gold Bar as a reference to that one. So I thought it was a pretty witty name, isn't it? Like a gold bullion. Gold Bar.
Hang on.
There's a few references to Fallout.
That's quite. There you go.
Yeah, give me some metal. Oh, yeah, thank you. Right, let me.
You see what I've got? I got 2 good ones.
Oh, you can only repair an item a certain amount of times?
Yes.
Oh my god. That's my best weapon. I'm just stuck with a crappy wrench now. I've got to make a new one, okay. Alright, hang on. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is a bit.
We've got this on the hardest difficulty as well, bear in mind, so it is a bit difficult.
Yeah, you are a bit of glutton for punishment. This gentleman right here is the person who got me to War Thunder, the little
You don't like being spawn camped? What's wrong with you?
Well, at least I got. I sometimes do that myself. A10 Warthog owner here. So I own the A10 Warthog in War Thunder, and that's apparently a war crime in some communities. But hey ho.
Well, if you're an opium farmer, I guess it probably is. Who happens to live in Afghanistan? Oh, what is this? I've got a pretty cool weapon now. I didn't know. Maybe it's by accident. Right, where you're at? Let's go kill some zombies.
Okay. One of the interesting questions I've got is,
Yeah.
so what happened to America?
That is a good point. Considering most of the book is set in the UK and northern France, I have toyed with the idea of a legion based in America called Imperial Legion. But obviously, because there's no radio signal because of the EMP, no one really knows what's going on in the outside world. But the EMP's epicenter is in England, so it stands to reason that America might have slightly more technology than Europe because all the radiation's coming from the UK. Write what you know, I guess. But America's a thing, obviously, and it's still affected by the apocalypse, as is Asia and everywhere else. But it probably has slightly more technology working than the UK, at least, and Europe, because it's further away from the radiation. So yeah, America, I don't know whether it still stands, but if their guns are still working, then it's probably a pretty crazy place, as you can imagine. I've written some short stories set before the apocalypse and things like that. Maybe I'll explore America a bit further. The furthest I got with exploring America so far is thinking that maybe like they have a legion called Imperial Legion. It's like rumors about it. Like, people have heard like that there's maybe some sort of aspects of civilization and society still holding together over there. But it's something I need to develop further, if I'm honest.
Yeah, because thinking about it, you are sort of doing what Fallout, the opposite of Fallout, because Fallout has basically shown everybody what America and even some bits of China have done. It hasn't touched Europe at all, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and the other difference between mine and Fallout is Fallout's obviously a nuclear war, but this is an EMP, so there's a lot more nature, and it's a bit like the Chernobyl exclusion zone, where there's lots of trees and wildlife in my book for the most part, because it's like electromagnetic radiation, not ionizing cancerous radiation. It's like it stops electricity from working, but not necessarily giving cancer. At least unless you get really, really close to it. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it's just like also it causes lots of auroras in the night sky. It's interfering with the EMP is interfering with the Earth's magnetic field. So there's lots of nice lights in the sky and things at night. And also when the auroras are brighter and when the radiation is burning stronger, the husks are more ferocious because their neural implants are more subdued and they're more aggressive. So if like Unit or other main characters are out and about and the auroras suddenly start picking up and getting brighter and more colourful, it's dangerous because that means that the radiations are burning brighter and the husks are more inhibited and more feral.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Oh, and that faction I mentioned earlier, the sub-faction, the Bone Mercenaries.
Yeah.
They're all based in the south coast of England, along the beaches and stuff, and they wear like animal skulls over their heads and stuff. And they got a lot of their industry and economy comes from farming whales, like the dead whales that wash up. Because in real life, whales use electromagnetic. They use the geomagnetic field of the Earth, like the magnetic field of the Earth, to navigate. And because the radiation in the EMP is disrupting the magnetic fields of the planet and
Yeah.
causing the auroras, all the whales and the dolphins and the marine life end up swimming towards it because they're attracted towards it. They get confused, basically. And so this faction goes out and harvests all the corpses of all the whales that wash up on the shore and uses their oil and their fat and their for food and things like that, their blubber and stuff, for food and for burning, lots of things in whales that can be useful. And their main HQ, they're called the Bone Mercenaries, these people, and their main HQ is a big oil rig in Poole Harbour, which is near where me and you live, isn't it?
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Talking about AI.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to use AI generated tools a lot to create images.
Yeah. Yeah, at the moment it's great, but I'm a little bit scared that in a decade it will start competing when it comes to writing fiction. As long as it starts curing cancer and doing some good stuff, I wouldn't mind it destroying my ideas by out competing me, which it's inevitably going to do at some point. But let's just hope that I can stay ahead of the curve for long enough to get my book published before AI starts writing New York Times bestsellers. But as for the AI generated imagery, I can't really draw very well, so it's great to be able to express yourself with pictures and stuff in a way that you couldn't before, isn't it? And also like visualize the book. Like the AI gives me ideas that I hadn't thought about sometimes. Like I asked it to reimagine the Tower of London and London Bridge in like a futuristic post-apocalyptic setting, and I was expecting it just to give me what like Tower Bridge looks like now, but derelict. But instead, it like completely redesigned Tower Bridge, still in the same style, but you could tell it was Tower Bridge, but it looked quite different. It was pretty cool. It's on my Instagram actually, and it made me think like, some of these places that the characters go to in the book, like St. Paul's Cathedral and these real-world places, they don't have to be as traditional as we see them in today's world. Like, St. Paul's Cathedral is probably going to be the same, but Tower of London, other iconic places, they might have been like redesigned and rebuilt in the same style as like what came before them, but more futuristic. So yeah, AI generated imagery is definitely a good source of inspiration. Type in something and it doesn't always get quite what you want. And sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. It's unpredictable sometimes.
Yeah.
Has a habit of adding like weird little things in. And you're like, why did that put that in there? Like I was designing the halos, which are like halos is what some of the civilians wear to protect their neural implants against the radiation. And when I was designing them, I asked the AI to create some images of people wearing like helmets and stuff, which insulate them against the radiation. And it started like in one of the pictures, it literally stuck like a funny, like smiley little face in there. I was like, I didn't ask it to do that. It seems like it's almost like if AI is like got a sense of humor or something. I mean, it probably doesn't because it's not AGI yet. It's not got general intelligence, but it's funny what it does sometimes.
Yeah, no, it never seems to work out how many hands anybody has.
Yeah, I might, if I'm going to rob a bank in real life, I'm going to get like prosthetic fingers and stuff, so it thinks it's AI generated. Oh, help me! Help me!
Yeah.
Oh, what have you done? You had one drop. Are you dead too?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I told you I'm not very good at this game. I just did it as a parkour simulator mostly.
You ever played Mirror's Edge? That's a good parkour game.
Yeah, I recently bought that on my PlayStation.
Well, the original, that game's old now.
No, the second version.
Is the second version?
Yes.
Is this game the same developers as Mirror's Edge? Because it reminds me of it.
No.
Oh, really? Is this the
I
same?
can't
What about Dead
remember.
Island? You ever
It's the
played
same
Dead
as
Island?
Dead Island, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, same as Dead
Island.
Island.
Shit, there's a lot of them out here. Oh, this one's running. Go away. Mine, I'm dying. Help! She doesn't seem distracted by my firecrackers as well. She's still coming at me. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You really think that this is going to help?
Oh, this is we're not.
Where are you?
On the floor, bleeding.
Oh, right, there you are.
Kill them before you try and heal me, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. Great.
You said that just at the wrong time.
Well, I thought it was common sense.
Hey, it's a game. So, what fears do you have about AI in real life? And
apart from like petty egotistical things like writing a better book than me, I like Elon Musk a lot. I know he gets a lot of slack from a lot of flack from certain people for being too pessimistic about AI. But the people that are criticizing Elon Musk for being too cautious when it comes to AI are often other people in tech that stand to gain a lot from AI. So it's a bit like they're obviously going to be biased towards wanting to progress it as fast as they can and make money from it. But it's very short-sighted because unlike nuclear weapons, for example, once you create AI, you don't have an option whether you're going to set it off or not. It's going to do what it wants. It's not like with a nuclear weapon, at least you're relying on some stupid human somewhere to kill yourself. Like with an AI, if it, with the prevalence of autonomous tanks and stuff like that, and having access to all kinds of missile silos and things, you better hope that it likes you and doesn't just look at humans as some kind of experiment or like an ants colony.
yeah,
Obviously, with like, I personally believe in the technological singularity, barring some kind of catastrophic event to our evolution and technological progression. Then I think that a technological singularity is pretty inevitable for this species, where AI turns to artificial general intelligence. AI at the moment is like playing a game of chess against the computer. It's good at chess, but doesn't know it's playing chess. Whereas artificial general intelligence not only will beat you at chess, but it knows it's playing chess, which I think is the big difference. If that makes sense, like it's the next step up. It's sexually aware.
that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's a double-edged sword. Might help with climate change and all sorts, but also might view us as vermin. It's just unpredictable, and that's why it's a singularity. You can't see what's going to happen. Singularity with black holes, the point of no return. No one knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, for God's sakes, here we go again.
I can heal you if you stay there. Let me try and get to you.
No, don't bother.
Okay.
But what?
Yeah. I'm also, in some ways, I'm less afraid. And the book, like, obviously explores AI, but I'm more afraid of humans than I am of AI. Like, what's more dangerous, right? An AI, or some kind of human with a neural implant? Obviously an AI is not natural, but a human with a neural implant, something that is natural, being turned into something that isn't. Like, the amount of like.
But you're sort of saying you're afraid of the Borg / Cyberman more than you are of
Humans aren't really designed to have
HAL
like
9000.
yeah, like humans aren't really designed to have microchips sticking into their brains, are they? So no one really knows like the ethical implications of just doing that. Like, cool, I can learn how to fly a helicopter by uploading that to my mind. But what if somebody like slows down my perception of time or something weird, like something that we can't really comprehend? These technologies have unintended consequences half the time.
What are the
I
things?
wouldn't want a neural implant.
No, the only thing I'd
I
say
love
is
technology, but it's got to be external.
the only thing I'd say is if somebody said, "Oh, you can have a cybernetic eye that can replace a damaged eye," then yeah, nice.
But night vision, like the clones in my book.
Yeah.
Cool. But like I'm saying as well, with technology and as it advances, there's also the possibility for dramatic life extension. You get nanotechnology that starts cleaning out your arteries and keeping you alive for longer, amongst other things. You could even clone yourself, create a brain dead clone of yourself. So you get a surrogate mother they give birth to a version of yourself, a younger version using your DNA.
Right,
When
right,
that
go on.
when that clone gets older, ethically it would be brain dead, hopefully. When that clone gets older, you just do a head transplant onto it. It'll accept your head because you're got the same DNA as it. You know, the issue of mainly transplants is it rejects it because it's
Right.
different DNA and different. But if it's a clone, it'll just fuse on.
Okay.
And they've already done head transplants in Russia with dogs and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, immortality. You know,
Have you seen the film The Island?
Refresh my memory. I don't think so.
Stars Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think
Probably.
so. It sounds quite good already.
It is quite a good film. It's
Oh,
it's a
no, I don't think so.
it's a Michael Bay film. I know that.
Is it got full explosions then?
Well, you know, it's not good. It's good action, but also it's got really interesting themes.
Yeah, go on.
It's the. Well, I won't spoil it, but I think you should say it because that might be an interesting film for you.
Okay.
And
cool.
that, yeah, if you can find that, just rent that or something. That is well worth taking a look at.
Also, like the idea that somebody's getting, the idea that you can, for example, like in principle, right? Immortality, biological immortality, or not quite immortality, but let's call it life extension, because immortality you need to escape the heat death of the universe and stuff. But like, you know, say you could live thousands of years by doing nanotechnology and stuff. It sounds great, doesn't it? But what if
Yeah.
like you stuck somebody in solitary confinement, you know, if like, and then for like 1,000 years, like, you know, at least solitary confinement has an end at the moment. You know, it's one of the worst things I can imagine, as well as other tortures. But if you're in solitary confinement these days for life, you're like, great, I can die in 80 years' time or whatever. It has an end in sight.
Yeah,
But
it's
with like technology advancing at the rate it's going, there's also so much harm that we could do to ourselves through like
yeah.
sadistic people who don't really have a, you know, psychopaths. And you know, I wouldn't put it past the species to do that to somebody if it was able to.
Yeah. Also, one of the things that I fear is that learning off humans is not the best thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Why make them in our image? I guess because we've got nothing else to go by. But oh shit.
yeah.
You know, I guess like all these large language models and stuff, they're using the internet as a as their data, aren't they, to learn from?
Oh god.
Like, yeah, right. You know, sooner they get android bodies and can actually experience stuff naturally, like learn stuff how most sentient beings learn stuff, which is with having a body. You know, having, even if it's like bionic optics rather than eyes and stuff like that, and hearing. You know, the sooner that like AI gets like proper android bodies, the better, really, isn't it? That's more natural. It's going to be more human-like if it's got a body and experiences the world like we do, rather than just some weird fucking server somewhere, which is like
Yeah,
supposedly
but
intelligent.
you do realise that the first thing that somebody is going to do, as soon as one of those bodies exists, you realise what somebody's going to do.
What with what AI?
Yeah, well, you realise that somebody is going to program the AI. Sex robot.
Yeah, they're in my book actually. They have assassin sex robots. So so like the first part of the book, of book one at least, the main character's on board a spacecraft in orbit of Earth, and he says they still have some technology and working on the spacecraft, even though it's falling apart. Because it's quite a long way from the epicenter of the radiation on Earth, and he's sent down to Earth from the spacecraft, and he's born on the spacecraft as well. But they've got like android sex robots on board the spacecraft, so yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
You know, they're mixed in with like the human prostitutes and things like that as well. But he can tell which ones are the androids because they're not shivering. It's quite cold in the spacecraft.
All right.
Pretty dark, and you want to take it even darker. Like they've got like weird modes and stuff. Like I won't go into it for that and that before getting banned. But You know, like you can
Activate third arm.
yeah, or whatever. Like or like you know, humankind is pretty dark aspects of it anyway, especially when it comes to like sexual stuff sometimes. So
Yeah.
I'll leave that to your imagination. But the book doesn't really shy away from that too much. It's probably an 18, if I would say.
Okay, that's clever. That's good.
Yeah. I don't know how to heal you. I don't think I've got a medical pack. I'll try and heal you.
No, don't worry. Don't
Let
worry.
me try. I've got a firecracker over there now. Let me try and heal you. Don't bleed out yet.
I'm already dead.
Ah, don't worry.
That's what I'm saying. Don't worry, because
Okay.
yeah, it's one of the things that really interests me about your ideas is that you've gone for sort of more of a Dune style of book.
Yeah, and there's no real guns like in June. They all use melee weapons, right?
Yeah, no. I mean more of a wide universe kind of book, not more of a smaller, tighter universe.
Yeah, I've gone for something like pretty epic and big. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I'm inspired by Lord of the Rings. Like the amount of depth that Tolkien put into these books is like out of this world. He spent like 7 or 8 years developing languages and then wrote the books to fit the languages in. He didn't write the books and story and then thought, right, this needs a language. He wrote the languages first, like many different Elvish languages and all sorts of like, and then he was like, right, this needs a.
Hello? Hello?
It's world building and lore that goes into the book.
Right. Sorry, I just cut out for a second.
He just muted me.
No, I didn't mute you.
I need a medical pack. I don't know if you're near me. Medic pack, health kit.
Doubt I'm going to be able to get there in time, but I'll give it a go.
Oh, the zombies are just falling off the car into a big burning pile of other things.
Yeah, but
yeah, you're right. It's aspects of June, like you know, the scale is definitely. It's why it's taken me such a long time to write because I've been working on this thing now for 8 or 9 years.
yes, yeah.
You know, and like all the stuff I've written close to 1 million words in total, but obviously 80% of that or 60% of that isn't actually in the final book. It's kind of like there as lore or background information that I use and rely upon. The actual first book is 150,000 words at the moment.
Okay, what the hell?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? This guy's on fire. So
Oh,
ground stuff in the archive.
right, I'm just going to stand over here for a minute. Yeah, I'd come back here if I were you.
My weapon's all beaten up.
Have I got anything for you? We could go to the...
This weapon's got no repairs left. Quite annoying that they do that. Now I've only got a
Yeah.
walk. I wouldn't mind them doing that if I found more weapons more regularly. I started off with like 5 or 6 weapons earlier. Now I've got a water pipe. Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry, that was my fault.
Right, let me try and. I think we should make it our objective to try and find some better weapons. Oh. Go. Yeah, Dream's cool. I never read the original book. I started reading the original book.
No,
But,
I saw... What the
what was
flying
that?
hell?
Is that you?
Well, I just got catapulted across the room.
Where are you?
I'm below you.
Hello.
Here. What happened?
Some guy just blew himself up down there. Like,
Oh,
donkey.
one of them. Oh, those things can happen. Yeah, there are those guys that actually do that. Believe it or not.
Let's go to the beach. Let's got the weapons down by the beach. Follow me.
There's beach.
Yeah, Dream 2 looks quite cool. I know you're not really a fan of Dream, are you? But
No, I basically, I saw the original 1980s film and was
Okay.
like, this universe is so densely packed, but most of it is what I class as
Fodder, like filler.
frankly overhyped. Dune is what I class as the Lord of the Rings of sci-fi, to be honest.
Tolkien was given Dune to read, and he said it was like his worst nightmare.
Ah,
Quite interesting. He really didn't like Dune. Tolkien didn't.
I'm not. To be honest, I'm not surprised because Dune is sort of. So no, go on. What were you going to say?
I don't think it's like natural enough for him. It's not like, and also there's too many. It's too related to real life, whereas like Lord of the Rings is a form of escapism, isn't it? You want to escape reality and go into like a Middle Earth and forget about the real world. Whereas Dune has got too many like metaphors for like the military-industrial complex. Yeah, it's all the overarching.
Yeah, yes.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just depends what you like, isn't it?
Yeah, I do agree. I think Dune. Since I've only watched the films, it's a very American. Oh, you were there.
I didn't realise you were coming. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I just saw something bleep, and I just thought you were there, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, Dune's cool. It's very cinematic.
What the? But I prefer more of a how should I put it? A Buck Rogers kind of a style of, you know who the heroes are, you know what, that's the bad guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
In comparison to Dune, where it's like, so who am I supposed to root for?
Well, like, I guess if I was gonna, but there's definitely elements of moral grayness in my book. Sure.
Well,
like at the end of the day, Unit is the main character, and I guess you're supposed to be rooting for him. Like, I think that should be quite clear.
well, moral grayness isn't a bad thing if you've got enough tension to back it up.
Yeah.
If you've got a book that basically there is no tension, but you've got moral grayness everywhere, I hate those kind of books, and I hope you haven't done that. I don't think you have, from what you've been saying.
No, it's not. It's a bit more black and white than, say, I don't know, Game of Thrones, I guess. But there's definitely elements of moral grayness to it still.
Strangely enough, I've never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
There's not really like good or bad characters. Well, I guess there are to a certain extent, but like it's definitely. I think that's what's quite good about it. But you know, I think at the end of the day, as long as the decisions that a character makes are believable and justified, then that goes quite a long way, doesn't it?
Okay. We're nearly at the 1 hour 30 mark. I'm not going to say we'll stop yet, but I'm going to ask a few more questions and then we'll round it down, okay?
That sounds good.
Any, other than Tolkien, because you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan, who... What am I saying?
Inspiration-wise?
Inspiration-wise, yes. What are your inspirations?
I love Children of Men. I don't know if you've seen that. With Clive Owen. That film is like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I can't... No.
It's where women can't give birth anymore.
I know the one. I'm going to have to say something that you might find slightly... Sorry, go on.
You finish, or I'm already interrupting.
I can't stand it, to be honest.
Yeah. I could probably see why. It's not like traditional sci-fi, even though it's set in the future.
I know what it's trying to do, but it's just...
What I love about that film is that the detail to the world building is just phenomenal. Like, for example, obviously, like, the women can't give birth anymore due to some unknown reason. But like things like there'll be a scene where they're going down a street in London, and you'll see a lot of the billboards will be for cat food and stuff like that. And it's not like a big deal. You don't really clock it unless you've watched the film a million times. Obviously, like people get more pets and more cats when if you can't have children, you get cats or dogs, right?
Yeah.
So it's just funny little aspects, the world building they put in there, which makes it really believable and feel like you're really in there, like living in there. It's very gritty and dark as well, which is what I love about it.
I can
But like,
imagine.
you know, those kind of aspects of the world building is what's kind of really cool. Like, I also love most of my inspiration doesn't come from books or films or computer games. To be honest with you, like I was saying before, like Fallout 4 and Metro Exodus. Well, that Metro was a book actually. They use bullets as currency in my book as well as what they do in Metro. Um, I didn't actually. I need to say that I didn't actually realise they'd done that in Metro until my mate told me. And I read it on the
Yeah,
book.
I did.
It's not too much of a rip-off, but it's such a cool principle, isn't it? It makes sense. Like, well, they use bottle caps in Fallout, for example. That's also
Yeah, that's a completely new thing.
Yeah.
For how that became currency is quite. That is something that I think they should touch on in the TV show that's coming out in
Yeah.
at some
I'm
point.
excited for that.
It's they shouldn't really make a whole episode trying to work out how it happened, but they should sort of go, okay, here's why this happened, and just make it a line or make it a small scene saying, yeah, so why that happened.
Oh, Blade Runner as well. Blade Runner 2049. That's a great film. Ghost in the Shell as well. Aspects from Ghost in the Shell and like are very cyberpunky, aren't they? From
Which Ghost in the Shell?
the one with Scarlett Johansson in.
Ah, right. Yeah.
I heard the anime is good as well. I didn't want to watch that, but same with what was it? Isn't there's a few other ones I've seen that have been turned into films. Akira, a Battle Angel or something.
Yes,
but,
that's one. I've never seen that myself.
No, neither have I. But like with Ghost in the Shell, at least, some of my short stories which are set before the EMP's gone off. You know, futuristic London. So you've got like, and so some short stories are set in Singapore, but there's like space elevators and stuff going up to the spacecraft which docks and high up. But elements of that world are definitely inspired by games like Cyberpunk or films like Ghost in the Shell, which are just very, you know, traditionally sci-fi. And like the war is still going around them, around these like, little pockets of civilization. So you've got like London and Singapore and a few cities that still stand before the apocalypse truly began and before the EMP went off. These few pockets of civilization still stand, and outside of their walls, and they're protected by big spacecraft that are like
Yeah.
in orbit above them.
Oh, sorry. Can you just stop talking for a sec? The
Yeah,
chat is the
lag.
no. Some the characters are talking.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to turn that on.
all good.
Sorry about that. I clicked the wrong button. Okay,
No.
sorry.
Yeah, just like how, so some of the short stories which are set before the apocalypse and before the EMP went off. There was a big war that was raging for as long as anyone can remember, started by people who don't want neural implants against God and like the overall government, for example, which God controls. Or God stands for governing omniscient data, and God is the AI that the main character was born from and created from. But so the war was going on between God and like the people that turned into the barbarians, like the mining corporations and stuff like that, before the apocalypse. And they wanted people to live freely without neural implants if they didn't want them. Whereas God thought it'd be mandatory. It was a bit of a surveillance society. Thought that people needed neural implants for control because you know, in the future with technology advancing at the rate that it does, it gets easier and easier for somebody to develop like a dangerous terrorist weapon or doomsday device on their own accord as technology develops. That's why they need neural implants and surveillance. Because God monitors the eyes, or before the apocalypse, God monitored the you know, society through the eyes of the civilians that live within it. Because everyone's got retina implants, streaming video back to the AI, it could see what everyone was doing at all times. And it's a big like surveillance society. And obviously, one faction got sick of this, and with the funding from big powerful mining corporations, they created the EMP device to wipe out God and reset civilization. And there was a big war going on beforehand, before that EMP device got set off between people who wanted neural implants and freedoms against God, who thought it'd be dangerous for people to get neural implants, to not have neural implants because then it couldn't monitor them. So that's a bit of law there.
So what version of 5G are they on?
That's the point. Like, the husks after the civilians that turn into the husks now that their neural implants are fried, they've got to be using some kind of Bluetooth or something. I don't know the ins and outs of the electromagnetic spectrum and that, and radio frequencies, but they've got to be using something, haven't they, to communicate and share their thoughts.
Okay, Bluetooth is very short range.
Yeah, so probably like Wi-Fi then, I guess.
Wi-Fi would actually be interesting for you to do, because there can be places where the Wi-Fi's not there.
Yeah.
So
the hive minds, for example, exist in like the Channel Tunnel and London Underground, where they're away from the radiation above ground.
Yeah.
Where they can form the basic network. Oh yeah, that's the one thing I don't know if I mentioned it before. Like, if somebody, there's a part where the main character's friend sees a husk with like a baby, and obviously the husks still sometimes have kids and stuff, because they have they sometimes show more human. They're a bit more human than zombies at times when the neural implants are working and glitching on and off and that, and so sometimes they have kids. And obviously the kids are born without neural implants. So the kids grow up to like 18, 20, 30, 40 years old. And they're quite feral, but not because they're like their parents have got faulty neural implants making them feral, but the kids have grown up in that environment which makes them feral. Like, they just behave like feral, but only because that's all they've ever known, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so bit of like the boy who grew up in the jungle sort of syndrome.
Yeah, like Mowgli. Yeah, exactly. And so when they're going through the Channel Tunnel, because Unit, the main character, has been sent to get reinforcements to relieve a siege on London. So he goes through the Channel Tunnel, which is called like Hell's Reach in the books, and he finds it's full of husks that have formed a hive mind. And one of his friends, a medic, she tries to take one of these kids from the husks, because she's like, he could like give him a better life and stuff. But the mother of the husk gets very aggressive and fights her, and she kills the husk silently and stealthily, so that none of the other husks will notice. But obviously, because they're connected through the hive mind, all the other husks inside that dark Channel Tunnel share the pain of the one she's just killed. They're all aware, like the spider senses almost, because their Wi-Fi is showing them what's going on. So even though one of the characters has killed one of these husks quite quietly and stealthily, all the other husks in that tunnel know what's just happened, and they also turn and look like quite creepily, and they like clock on to what's going on because of their network. They connect and share the pain. And there's a part where Unit throws like a lithium-ion battery, a flaming incendiary lithium-ion battery down a sewer, and sets fire to loads of husks underground. And all the husks that are above ground start rolling around in pain as well, even though they're not burning in the fire. They feel the pain of the ones that are below ground, because they're sharing the hive mind. It shares that network through the Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah, interesting.
And one last note I'll leave it on as well.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, it's just got dark. What's just gone on? Is that you?
Someone else has just connected.
Oh my days! It's just gone pitch black. There wasn't any gradual. It's getting dark. It just went nighttime. Who's that? Yo, I've seen some other guy. I'm like, bunch of them.
Oh, great. I think we're gonna have to call this a day.
Yeah, definitely good. One thing I will say is that because of the nanotechnology, all the husks live for hundreds of years old. So no one dies of old age in the book, just through starvation and stuff.
Right. So, yeah, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for spending with me and chatting.
Yeah.
Good.
So, the links are in the description to talk to the guy. He will talk to
Yeah.
you about his book. Quite.
Yeah, please. Over enthusiastically.
So, please go and take a look at what he's done. I think he's got. What the flipping heck? Oh.
What's up?
Somebody said it's been very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting idea for a book. I'm sort of slightly thinking myself that it's sort of the other side of the Fallout universe. Because it's like, hang on, wait a minute. So the EMP happened over there, but everyone else had the nuclear wasteland thing. So yeah, okay, it could work.
Yeah. It's definitely they could. As I told you, there's like the gold bar which is in Fallout. That's the reference to Fallout.
Yeah, but that's just my thought. It's not the official thing of the author, but that's just my thought.
It's been fun.
What the hell?
Yeah, and if anyone is listening to this, then obviously subscribe to my email newsletter, or if Instagram, you think I'm on Instagram, everything on the Space Time War at the Space Time War. But if you subscribe to my newsletter, then that's where all the good stuff is. But you know, I'm active on everything else as well, like Instagram, Facebook, all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks.
Okay. See you guys later.
See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was very